Good evening, students. Shall we start? Yes. Um, in yesterday's class, are you comfortable there? You want to come here? You are comfortable there? Fine. So in yesterday's class, we just started the introduction, the important aspect of this particular life processes in living organisms. Okay, life processes in living organisms. So this is what we discussed, and we addressed some questions also, like the in-text questions, like how do we tell? What's the first question? Can someone read it? How do we tell the difference between what is alive and what is not alive? Okay, and the properties we discussed, basically the properties. Okay, and then the processes, visible processes, like what are the visible processes? Dog running, cow chewing, a man shouting. So these are all the visible processes, means like you can see. Okay, all these things, the observable characters, based on that you can tell. But if it is a and a man is sleeping, how can you tell that man or any organism is sleeping? It looks like dead, yeah? Then how can you say the organism is alive? Hmm? Maybe breathing. Okay, yeah, the breathing. Okay, the movement of the thoracic cavity. So based on that you can tell the organism is alive. And what about in plants? If it looks green, logically it involves in what? Photosynthesis. Okay, that's one common thing. Okay, the plant is autotrophic organism, like the color, if the plant looks very green or whatever, so it is doing capable of doing photosynthesis. It can make its own food, so we can say the plant is alive. Okay, so all these things are actually called visible movements. Okay, some sort of movements. But other movements which you cannot see, without some movements are there, invisible movements. What are the invisible movements which also occurring in our body, which you cannot see? Yeah, pumping of heart, the food you eat is getting digested. Okay, so all those movements actually, like you cannot even see, invisible to the naked eye, which actually occurs in the body. Okay, so these are all the basic things which you can say the organism is alive. Okay, fine. How can you tell a unicellular organism is alive, which is microscopic? You can't even see any of it. The microorganism itself you cannot see, but how can you tell that organism is alive? By its properties, functions basically. Okay, the living properties. If it shows growth, okay, if it causes some diseases, if it converts, for example, your milk is converted into curd, means a organism is there. இன்னைக்கு அம்மா இட்லிக்கு போடுறாங்க, நாளைக்கு மாவு நல்ல உப்பி வருது, which means what? Fermentation. Organisms have done that fermentation process. A grape juice closed and then resulted in the production of wine. Organism is there. Some process, a living bacteria and all, virus and all, yeast and all, actually you cannot see, but still based upon the processes it does, you can tell, yeah, there are living organisms. Can you understand? The processes depends upon the effect. You can tell the organism is alive. Sometimes the effect can be shown by non-living substances also. For example, a virus enters. Now, all over the Chennai, people are affected with the viral fever, especially children, kids are widely affected by viral infections. Okay, shows lot of cold, cough, fever, body pain, etc. Are the viruses alive? Actually, they are non-living substances. Okay, they are non-living substances, but that show life characteristics once it enters into the host. We are the host for the viruses. If it enters into us, it shows all of the life properties. It grows, it does metabolism, it reproduces rapidly in one cell, in 1 minute, 1,000, more than that. Can you understand? In one cell, if it enters, the cell divides in 24 hours. For example, animal cell, at what rate it divides? 24 hours. Our animal cell divides by 2 in 24 hours. One virus, if it enters into one cell, 1,000 times it divides. In 24 hours, the virus divides in 1,000 times. Look at that. So it grows, it reproduces, means multiplies, and it metabolism. It produces lot of chemicals, and it process all this chemical reaction. Virus can able to do chemical reactions. Organization, structure, nuclear protein complexes, viruses. Though the organism is not alive, it shows life characteristics. Okay, fine. That's like still we confuse where to put virus. See, in class 11 you have biological classification, how organisms are classified. The most accepted method of classification we follow is 5 kingdom classification. You know what are the 5 kingdoms? Monera, Protista, fungi, plantae, animalia. Even Whitaker, he is the one who proposed the 5 kingdom classification in 1969. Okay, but still he did not know where to put viruses, so it's kept separate. Still now viruses do not have any kingdom because they are acellular, no cellular form. Cell is the basic unit of life. Viruses are acellular, so viruses are not kept in biological kingdom classification, but still it has all the effects. Okay, sometimes living organism shows movements, visible movements, all these things, and effects also. Sometimes the non-living, we are little confused where to put them. Okay, the non-living components also show some kind of effects. So because of that and all, you cannot tell what viruses are alive. Okay, just keep they show living and non-living characteristics, that in your mind. Okay, fine. Now, like unicellular organism, as we said, by its processes only. Okay, multicellular organism, by visible characteristics or visible movements and invisible movements, you can tell it is alive. But unicellular organism only by its functions, what it does. If A is converted into B, yes, there is living organism. Milk is converted into curd. Yes, there is a living organism, you can tell. By the process, by the effects, only you can tell the organism is alive. You stain it, positive, negative, gram positive, gram negative. By staining, some procedure you perform, and then you confirm, yes, there is a living organism. Just like that, you cannot say here a bacteria is there. You have to do a streaking method or whatever, check it is there or not. Then only you can tell. Can you understand? Fine, good. So, and the next important thing which we discussed there is living organism. So, by these processes, you can say organism is alive. Okay, it is alive, it is not alive. Chair we compared, right? We also, what are the properties we discussed? The properties of living organism. They grow. Apart from, to sum up all these things, 5 important characteristics. 5. What are the 5? Growth, organ living. If it grows, if it reproduces, if it metabolizes substances, if it is organized, here it is there basically, you can see. They can, tissues have cells, components in them. That organization, living organism will have well organized structure. Because of that organization, you can say it is well organized. Yes, it is living. Cells, tissues, organs, organ system, organism. In plants and animals or organisms. Even if it is unicellular, how it is organized? Atoms, molecules, organelle, cell. If it is a bacteria, how it is organized? Atom, molecule, organelle, cell. Is it clear? So, still it shows organization. Okay, so these are all like important properties, not processes, properties which tells us organisms are alive. Okay, and then we told one thing for this question: what are the maintenance processes? They are the life processes. Maintenance processes are what? Life processes. That maintenance job is what it finally what it does. It maintains what? Homeostasis. All the processes. If I ask you, even he is new, can you tell me what are life processes? Living organism. Give me example. Everybody, common man science. This is what I said yesterday. Common man science. Respiration, digestion, excretion, circulation, reproduction, coordination, protection, immune system. All these things are life processes. Is it clear? Fine. Together, these processes, what they will do? What is there? All together, maintenance of homeostasis. Maintenance of homeostasis. What is homeostasis? Maintenance of body temperature, maintenance of pH level, maintenance of water level, maintenance of nutrient level, maintenance of normal conditions all over the body. That is what we discussed, right? Maintenance of homeostasis. We insisted much on these maintenance processes with example. Temperature, how it is maintained, pH, different body fluids, how it differs. Okay? Nutrient, what is the sugar level? All these things we discussed. Water level in the body. This is what we discussed in yesterday's class. Okay? Fine. Now, so this we revise just for you. Okay, now. So, we know the life processes. Okay? Like in this chapter, what are the life processes? The life processes together. Okay. Nutrition. Means nutrition, respiration, transportation, excretion. In this chapter, only 4 processes we are going to discuss. Okay. What are they? Nutritional processes, and then you can say respiration, and then you can say what? Transportation. Okay, where is the word transportation? Anyway, somewhere else also it is there. Transportation, and then finally what? Excretion. What are the 4 processes? Nutrition and digestion, and then respiration, and then transportation, and then excretion. Fine. Let us now connect 4 of these processes. The connection between 4 of the processes. Okay? You know how to define all those 4 processes. Okay? How do you define all those 4 processes? What is nutrition? In simple, how can you define nutrition? Production and supply of food. Either supply of food or production of food to the system, living system. Okay? Supply of food in heterotrophic. We cannot produce food. Nutrition, our nutrition, human nutrition is heterotrophic nutrition. We cannot produce, but we supply. Supply of food to the living system is nutrition. In plants, production of food for its life processes. Supply of food for the life processes is in heterotrophic organism. Production of food for life processes is autotrophic nutrition. Simple. Okay, we are multicellular organism. Right? We are multicellular organism. So we need complex, lot of food. Okay? And that food has to be, what for that food is used? Since we are heterotrophic, What for this used? Food is used for maintenance process to prevent damage and breakdown. Maintenance process is homeostasis. For that we need food which provides energy. And maintenance nale waste should be removed, damages are repaired, good things to be done constantly. Okay, for that you need food. So you have to supply the food from outside. From outside, we are heterotrophs, so outside only we are going to take. Okay, how? In what form you take? Complex form. And all the foods are, the kind of food we take is carbon based. Why it is called carbon based? What is the chemical composition of carbohydrates? What are the food we eat? Carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, kulla fats, and all other, even nucleic acids actually is required, and then all other kuti substances, salts, minerals, vitamins, etc. Okay, macromolecule we call like carbohydrates, proteins, lipids. What is the chemical composition of carbohydrates? It is made up of what? Carbohydrates. Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. Correct? Only carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. What is the chemical formula for glucose? C6H12. So what it possesses? Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. Nothing else bigger than this. Only carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. So carbohydrates. Proteins. Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. Moreover, nitrogen. Nitrogen, main component of protein. Apart from carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, but still carbon is there. Fat. Lipid is made up of what? What is the chemical substances which makes lipid? Again, glucose or sugar, if it is stored, it is converted into fat. Hydrocarbons, so much of carbon and hydrogen. Lipids, much of hydrogen and carbon. Hydrocarbons. Oils, for example, oils are what? Polyhydrocarbons. Carbon and hydrogen and little oxygen. That's why they are branched. Okay, not soluble in water. Since oxygen content is less, they are not soluble in water. Hydrophobic. Lipids are hydrophobic. Tannile enna madakkum seradu. Immiscible. Correct? Oil and water, because they are hydrophobic. Less oxygen. If oxygen is more, it interacts with water. Okay? Again, carbon. Nucleic acids. Again, 5-carbon sugar. You can see DNA, RNA, ribosugar, deoxyribosugar. That you will see in higher classes, maybe, or in genetics. So again, carbon. Is it clear? So that's why all living organisms require food, carbon-based food, organic molecules. If a molecule is having lot of carbon, primary molecule is carbon, then it is called what? Organic molecule. Inorganic substances. What are inorganic substances? The water is inorganic. No carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Sodium chloride, potassium chloride. All ions, minerals, they are inorganic substances, salts, minerals. No carbon, but still simple substances. They are just like that, soluble in water. You can take it. In a glass of water, sugar means all inorganic substances are present. Mineral water, we call it as mineral water because all these things are present in it actually. The groundwater you are taking it, minerals are present. Inorganic salts are present in it. Is it clear? So, we need, for the maintenance job, we need carbon source as the energy currents, energy molecule. Okay, fine. And since we are multicellular organism, we take food in complex. So, nutrition is supply of food. We take it. Yes. And then it is followed by what? Cell cannot take idli. I think we discussed yesterday. Cell cannot take idli. Idli is carbohydrate. But the body cell, we are multicellular organism. The cell cannot take idli because it requires only simple form glucose. So, complex carbohydrate should be broken down into simple sugar. Is it clear? Only glucose the cell can take. Cell can eat for energy glucose, amino acids. Protein only it takes amino acids, not protein. It takes glucose, not carbohydrate. Simple form. That's why what system you need? You are heterotrophic organism. What system you need? Digestive system you need. Can you understand? You need a digestive system. Nutrition, supply of food, and you supply in complex form. The cell will take only in simple form. So you need a digestive system. Yes. Okay. So what should be done? What should be done? Complex food should be broken down into simple. Then only cell can eat. Correct? You had idli, but your cell is not ready to take idli. Only it takes glucose. Is that enough? What is next? The glucose should be broken down. And what should be produced? ATP molecules, energy currency, adenosine triphosphate. What is the energy currency? ATP. ATP stands for what? Anyway, it's there in your book. We'll come to that. Don't worry. Adenosine triphosphate. Glucose should be broken down and ATP is produced. This will happen only in the presence of breakdown of glucose occurs only in the presence of what? Tell me. Breakdown of only in the presence of oxygen. Okay? This breakdown of food occurs only in the presence of what? Oxygen. There are, for the breakdown of these molecules, oxidoreduction reaction should occur. Means glucose is broken down and ATP is produced only in the presence of oxygen. If no oxygen, cell cannot break down the glucose. Appo, what system comes here? Don't worry, cell. I am there to help you. What system comes here? Respiratory system comes here. Respiration is the process. How can you define respiration? Look at that. The process of acquiring oxygen from outside of the body and to use it in the process of breakdown of food sources for cellular needs is called respiration. Process of getting oxygen outside the body to give it to the cell, come break down the glucose, get your energy source. That process is called what? Respiration. So, we take complex food, nutrition, we break it into glucose, digestion, cells takes glucose, but oxygen is required for breakdown. Respiration system comes, take it. I will give you oxygen, you break it. Okay? Now, food is taken, simple made, glucose is ready. Oxygen is taken, food is glucose also ready, oxygen also ready. Who should go and supply to the cell? Cell is there here in our brain. Cell is there in our feet. Cell is there in our back. Cell is there in your heart. All over the body it is made up of cell. Who will go and give? You need a transportation system. Heart comes. Our heart comes. Hey, don't worry. I will circulate. All give it to me. Lungs, come on. Give the oxygen. Hey, intestine, give me the glucose. I will take it. Okay? And pump, heart pumps. Go blood, go. All part of the body, go. Give it. The glucose also you give to the cell. Oxygen also give it to the cell. Let the cell take glucose and take oxygen, break it, use it. For that, what system comes? To support respiration, oxygen comes. Nutrition, complex carbohydrate goes and then glucose is ready. For supply of these two, oxygen and glucose supply, transportation system comes. Our body is multicellular. Okay? We need a transportation system. But unicellular organism, they will ask one question. We are multicellular organism, so we need a transportation system, blood, heart, vessels, all these things. But unicellular organism, nothing. From immediate environment by diffusion process, simple diffusion. What is simple diffusion? How can you define simple diffusion? Movement of substances from high concentration to low concentration. The body cell membrane is there in amoeba. Surrounding glucose is there or oxygen is there. it takes cell membrane, diffuses. Simple. Okay, no protection is there, big protection. So easily the molecule diffuse from high concentration to low concentration. It gets its food. No need of transportation system, just diffusion is enough. But we are multicellular organism, that's why we need heart, pump, all these things. Anyway, in multicellular and unicellular organism, by diffusion or transportation, food and oxygen is supplied. Cell is happy now. Who is happy now? All the cells are happy. They take oxygen, they take carbon, means glucose, breakdown. What produced now? Energy produced, used. Finally, what is released? Waste products. If any substances are used, obviously there is the production of what? Waste processes, waste products. Okay? They create byproducts and are not useful for the cells. If it is not useful, it is harmful. If it is not useful, it may be harmful also. What is produced, for example, in this process? Carbon dioxide is produced. Carbon dioxide is toxic to the cell. Oxygen is, cell cannot live. Sorry. See, how many minutes you can survive without oxygen? You hold your breath. What's your name? Anirudh. Hold your breath. How many minutes you can survive without oxygen? Just 1 minute. Maximum 3 minutes. Adukku mele commando, military commando na 6 minutes. Then they will die. சாப்பிடாம 40 நாள் இருக்கலாம். கோமா வருஷம் ஃபுல்லா இருக்கலாம். But without oxygen you cannot live for a long time. So oxygen is constantly supplied to the system. Like that, if carbon dioxide concentration is increased in a cell, cellக்கு oxygen எவ்வளோ முக்கியமோ, carbon dioxide அவ்வளோ harmful. எவ்வளோக்கு oxygen is useful, அவ்வளோக்கு carbon dioxide is harmful. அப்போ what the system should do? Remove the carbon dioxide, exhale carbon dioxide. It should remove. So for that, removal of byproducts and all waste, gas formula இருக்கலாம், liquid formula இருக்கலாம், or solid formula இருக்கலாம். You need what system? Excretion. How can you define excretion? Waste products needed to be removed by the body and discarded outside by the process called what? Excretion. So can you understand the connection between all of the process? We have digestion, nutrition and digestion, and then for that the respiration system is important, and then for both of these two, transportation system is there, and then transportation again not just gives transportation, is a dual role is doing. What is the dual role for the transportation system? What is the dual role for transportation system? Heart, blood pumping system. It gives food to the cells, collects waste from the cells. Dual role it does. Transportation system also provides food, also collects waste. Give it to kidney, collects the waste, gives it to kidney, collect the waste, give it to the lungs, collect the waste, give it to the maybe excreta. So all forms of the wastes are removed by the body. So transportation system supports dual role. நல்லது கொடுக்கும், கெட்டதை எடுத்துட்டு வந்துரும். So each and every process in the body should happen in a synchronized way. Every process is connected with each other. Though we study a lot of processes, they are independent processes. One process is connected with next is connected with next. Every cells and every components, molecules in the body are connected with each other. It is a network. It is a system. System means what? What is called system? Little components are there. For example, this is a system. Maybe we use. We have a pen. We have eraser. We have a screen. Each and everything will have one function. Correct? Even this. The desk. Every component is having its own function. All should work well. Then only the process is done. Can you understand? So, to understand The complexity. Our living system is complex or simple? Very complex. Not just complex, it is very, very complex. But the beauty is, it is well organized. Our living system, the life processes are complex. If you ask this question, life processes are simple or complex? What is your? It is complex. It is not a simple thing. It is complex. But why we don't get much problem? The complex process, though it is very complex, it is well organized. Life processes are complex, keep this in mind, but well organized. Okay? Life processes are complex but well organized. What are the life processes? Digestion, respiration, transportation, excretion, at least here. But well organized. Is it clear? Shall we go to the next? So, the idea of all such a long lecture is, we must know about the life processes, and not just knowing the life processes, every process is connected with each other. Okay? No processes is different component of the system. In a system, living organism, all the processes are interconnected with each other. Is it clear? Fine. Any question till this? Anything you want to ask? Little, just coming to this part. In this area, your in-text questions. Why is diffusion insufficient to meet oxygen requirement in multicellular organism like humans? Can you understand this question? The first question is for Rohit. Second question, what criteria do we use to decide whether something is alive, for Anirudh? The third question, what processes would you consider essential for maintaining life, for what's the name? Kaushik. Okay? Look into that. And I will take one question. What are outside raw material used for by an organism? I will take the third question, easy question. So I will take third. Take 2 minutes time to think about these questions. If you are ready, you can tell. Yes. You are asking question or answering? What criteria do we use to decide whether something is alive? Means multicellular organism. Hmm. 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 In terms of its processes, whether it converts milk into curd. Yes, living organism is that organism. Unicellular organisms are present. Very good. Anybody else? Yes, Kaushik. Fourth question. What processes would you consider essential for maintaining life?
There are many processes digestion, respiration,
Mm.
transportation, excretion. So digestion, transportation,
Mm.
nutrition, the intake of food
Mm.
are changed to
Mm.
energy,
Mm.
and the process of respiration,
Mm.
we take the oxygen
Mm.
outside and
Mm.
break the food in
Mm.
simple format,
Mm.
and by the process of transportation, we spread out the
Mm.
simple parts of food to other parts of the body,
Mm.
and also takes the waste from the other parts of the body.
Mm.
And by the process of excretion, we all deposit the waste consumed in our body.
Mm.
So these are all the processes maintained.
Yeah, very good. So these are all like digestion, respiration, excretion, transportation, all important for maintenance of life. Yourself? Rohit. Hmm. Hmm? Can help you. Don't worry. See, listen. What is diffusion? Movement of substances from outside the environment to inside the cell. That is diffusion. So diffusion of nutrients is enough only the organism is unicellular. Okay, by diffusion process, by simple diffusion, little amount of food is required. So unicellular organism only get the food by nutrition. It is the whole body part of the cell is whole cell membrane is exposed to its environment. Sufficient. But we are multicellular organism. See, only the outside the cell is exposed to the air. But no glucose can go. No, here glucose is there. Glucose is not available here at all. But little gas can go. But what about the internal organs? There are also cells. So, multicellular organisms are having lot of cells located in different parts of the body. So, the cells are not exposed to the environment. No food can enter just like to the cell. Hence, diffusion is insufficient. We need a proper digestion, transportation and system, respiration, all the systems to supply or to transport the food. Is it clear? Unicellular is simple, so it can, diffusion is enough. Multicellular is complex, not at all enough. We need separate system to provide food. We need separate system to process food. That's why it is insufficient. Is it clear? And one question we missed, what is it? What are outside raw material used by an organism? Organic substances. We saw, right? Organic substances like carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, nucleic acids. Main carbohydrates, proteins and lipids. And inorganic substances like water, salts, minerals, vitamins, etc. Supplied from outside to inside of the body. Organic based and inorganic salts, minerals, etc. Can you understand? Can you answer? Again, you have to think about these answers. Okay, fine. So, all the processes now we are going to discuss one after other in detail. Now, first process. So, all these things are common thing, but now more specifically into the chapter, nutrition, that's all. Forget about all other stories. Just nutrition. Okay? What is nutrition, we saw? Hmm. Okay, very good. The supply of food in autotrophic means heterotrophic, production and transportation of food in autotrophic organisms is nutrition. Very good. So, how we get the food? That is very important. Based on that only. Here one question is there. No, you know what is nutrition? Means with that food only you can maintain. Okay, you can produce energy. All the body functions will occur. The nutrition is required for growth, development, etc. All these substances. So that only we eat food. Simple about nutrition. Next, how do we get their, how do general organisms get their food? Two ways, production and supply, we saw, right? Based on that, how the organisms are classified? Some organism, listen, some organisms use simple raw materials, inorganic substances, and produces carbon dioxide in water. They are called what? Autotrophs. How it produces? That's very important. We saw, we eat idli, we eat protein, we eat fat, lipid in complex form. It should be converted into simple form. But plant is also a living organism. Can you give a biryani for lunch? One biryani, talapakatta biryani for lunch, or barota night time, kottu barota in night time, or dosa in morning? No. What plant will do? Like you should give, see here, simple inorganic substances. What are simple inorganic substances? It takes carbon dioxide, water, simple substances. Okay? Nitrogen in the form of NO2, NO3, NH4. Can you understand? So, plant what it do? Autotrophs. They are autotrophs. Autotrophs, what they will do? They take simple substances from its immediate environment, produces their food, and then transport whatever, maintains its energy need. Okay? Hence, they are called what? Autotrophs. Examples of autotrophs? Plants and some bacteria. Okay? And then other organisms utilize complex substances. These complex substances broken down into simple substances and helps in the growth of the body. These organisms are called what? Heterotrophs. Okay? இங்க production அப்படின்னு சொன்னா இங்க என்ன? Supply. Okay? Heterotrophs. Give me examples of heterotrophs. Animals, fungi. Okay, we depend on autotrophs. Okay, we cannot produce directly, but we indirectly depend on, we directly depend on them. They should give, otherwise no food for us. Okay, autotrophs. Is it clear? So, based on nutrition, there are autotroph and heterotroph. Now, let's study in detail about autotrophic nutrition. Okay, for autotrophic organisms, what is the process? They produce the energy. They take simple substances and then they make the food. Look at that. There is a reaction is given here. Photosynthesis. The process is called what? Photosynthesis. Now, overall reaction for photosynthesis. Can you see? Carbon dioxide. 6 carbon dioxide. H2O, water, in presence of chlorophyll and the energy from sunlight. Chlorophyll is what? For what chlorophyll? It's a pigment. Light harvesting complex. Light la irukra energy chlorophyll absorbs. That light energy is converted into chemical energy, glucose. So what is produced here? Glucose. C6H12O6 is glucose. The energy source. Glucose should be broken down into ATP. And then what is produced? Oxygen and water. So that's why we call plants takes carbon dioxide, gives oxygen. Plants take simple substances, produce complex substances. Is it clear? Plant takes simple substances and produce complex substances. Okay, can you understand? Autotrophic mode of nutrition. Okay. Now, two simple little information you should understand. Just one mark they will ask. What is the difference between starch and glycogen? Have you heard about starch? Heard about glycogen? Yes. Don't worry, I'll tell you. Starch is made up of is a polysaccharide. Starch is a polysaccharide made up of glucose. Millions of glucose molecules together make starch. Glycogen, again a polysaccharide. Glycogen is a polysaccharide made up of monosaccharide called glucose. Same answer, right? Starch is a polysaccharide. Glucose is a means glycogen is a polysaccharide. Starch is also made up of glucose. Glycogen is also made up of glucose. Then what is the difference? Why I am asking about difference? Correct. Storage form of carbohydrate in plants. Plant stores carbohydrate in the form of starch. Animal stores carbohydrates in the form of glycogen. நம்ம சாப்பிட்ற we are animals. நம்ம சாப்பிட்ற food எல்லாம் stored in our body in the form of glycogen. Plants store in the form of starch. Just little comparison you should understand. Is it clear? Now, so look into this again, coming to the photosynthesis. What are the reaction occurs in photosynthesis? Do you think it is very simple process, photosynthesis? See, in plant physiology, in class 12, class 11, you study 5 chapters. Plant physiology, this one reaction, how many chapters you study? 5 chapters. So photosynthesis is not one இப்படி நடக்கிற process கிடையாது. Lot of cycles are present in between. Glycolysis cycle is there, Krebs cycle is there, TCA cycle னு சொல்லுவாங்க. Electron transport chain is there. They call it as light reaction, they call it as dark reaction. Okay, so ஒரு series of process நிறைய நடக்கும். அது ஒரு பெரிய process photosynthesis. Glucose உடையிறது, நான் சொன்னேன் இல்லையா, glucose உடைஞ்சி என்ன கிடைக்கும்? ATP கிடைக்கும். But 10 steps are there. Have you know the எப்பயாச்சும் பார்த்துருக்கீங்களா? Glucose is converted into glucose 6-phosphate, fructose 6-phosphate, glucose 1,6-bisphosphate. Finally, pyruvate comes. So it is a series of process. So photosynthesis is not just one reaction; it is a series of processes. But together, 3 important processes occurs. What occurs in photosynthesis? The 3 points is given. What are they? Absorption of light energy by chlorophyll. First important process. What is the second one? Conversion of light energy to chemical energy by splitting of water molecule into hydrogen and oxygen. Can I ask you one simple question? Hydrolysis. What is called hydrolysis? What is called CO2, carbon dioxide fixation. In book you cannot get, in this book you cannot get these 2 terms, but the answers are given. No definition, term is given, term is not given, but the answer is given. What is the answer for hydrolysis? Look at that. Splitting of water molecule into hydrogen and oxygen. Water molecule breakdown process. Water is made up of what? H2O liya. H2O broken into H plus OH minus. இதுக்கு பேர் தான் என்ன? ஹைட்ரோலிசிஸ். வாட்டர் உடையிற ப்ராசஸ். H தனியாக O தனியாக போகிறது. பேசிக்கலாக H plus OH சும்மா உங்களுக்கு புரியுறதுக்காக போட்டேன். வாட்டர் உடஞ்சி என்ன வருது? ஹைட்ரஜனும் ஆக்சிஜனும் வருது. 2 H2 தனியாக போய்டும், ஆக்சிஜன் நாட் ஈவன் திஸ், ஆக்சுவலி H தனியாக O தனியாக. ஓகே, H2 தனியாக O தனியாக வருது. ஹைட்ரோலைசிஸ், ஸ்பிளிட்டிங். அண்ட் தென் வாட் இஸ் கால்ட் கார்பன் டை, இது ஃபோட்டோசிந்தசிஸில் தான் நடக்கும். இந்த ஹைட்ரஜன் இஸ் இன்வால்வ் இன் ஃபோட்டோசிந்தசிஸ், எனர்ஜியாக தான் கொடுக்கும். அண்ட் தென் reduction of carbon dioxide to carbohydrates. What is called reduction of carbon dioxide to carbohydrates? CO2 fixation. Okay, it is carbon. See, carbon dioxide plant takes. What is CO2 fixation? Atmosphere la plant enna eduthukudhu? CO2 carbon எடுத்துக்குது, carbon dioxide எடுத்துக்குது. அதை வச்சு தான் what it produces. See, look at that. This CO2 is used for what? C6H12O6 production. CO2 fixation. Can you understand? So, photosynthesis. So, these are all the three processes important in photosynthesis. Okay? Now, can I ask you one more question? Where photosynthesis occur? Leaves. Leavesல basic structure இங்க கொடுத்திருக்காங்க பாருங்க. Outside one waxy material. Look at that. Outer epidermis means upper, lower epidermis. Inner there are, see, you can see rod and column shaped cells and round spherical cells. Here these cells basically are called what? Mesophyll cells. These cells are called what? Mesophyll cells. And these mesophylls are presented with what? Chloroplast. Chloroplast will have what? Chlorophyll. Leaves, where photosynthesis occurs? In the leaf, mesophyll cells are there, which possess chloroplast is an organelle. Their chlorophyll is there, which harvests light and does photosynthesis. Where photosynthesis occurs, this anatomy you have to understand. Again, one important component is given called God cell. What is the function of the God cell? Here it is given. Look at that, God cell. See, for photosynthesis, water is required. Plant absorbs water through roots and it is transported. Water transported through xylem. Rootல இருந்து means groundல இருக்கிற வாட்டரை அப்சர்வ் பண்ணி ஃபுல் பிளான்ட்டோட லீஃப்க்கு யாரை டிரான்ஸ்போர்ட் பண்ணுறா? xylem. ஓகேயா? லீஃப்ல ப்ரொடியூஸ் ஆகிற ஃபுட்டை எல்லா பார்ட் ஆஃப் த பிளான்ட்டுக்கும் யாரை டிரான்ஸ்போர்ட் பண்ணுவா? ஃப்ளோயம். கீப் தட் இன் மைண்ட். ஸோ வாட்டர் இஸ் அப்சார்ப். வாட்டரோட டே டைமில் தான் மோர் அப்சார்ப்ஷன் இருக்கும். ஏன்னா இவாப்ரேஷன் இருந்துகிட்டே இருக்கிறதுனால, டிரான்ஸ்பிரேஷன் இருந்துகிட்டே இருக்கிறதுனால வாட்டர் இஸ் அப்சார்ப். தட் டைம் தி காட் செல்ஸ் ஆர் ஓப்பன். வாட்டரை எடுத்து போகிறதுக்கு ஏற்ற மாதிரி allows the movement of water. God cells. Okay. Which there inside the God cell, what there? Stomatal pore. Movement of water is there. In the night time, or there is no uptake of water, transportation of water at temperature so less. Water போகாது, evaporate ஆகல, water எப்படி போகும்? God cells என்ன ஆயிடும்? Shrinks. So, for photosynthesis, carbon dioxide is taken. Light, why it is photosynthesis? Light is required by chlorophyll, means absorbed by chlorophyll, and water is required. So, active transpiration is the stomatal pore. God cells take intake and water, transportation, management of water. Okay, opening and closure of stomata supports absorption of water. Okay, is it clear? So, photosynthesis, plant, what did we saw? Plant takes simple substances, makes food. Okay, and maybe in the next class we can discuss some experiments are given here just to prove different experiments. Starch is produced, carbon dioxide is released, oxygen means carbon dioxide is utilized, oxygen is released, all these things. Some test. Light is required to prove photosynthesis and the substrate used, products produced. That we will see in the next class. So, last few minutes for your questions. Primarily, autotrophic mode of nutrition we discussed. In next class, actually, we will be discussing about heterotrophic mode of nutrition. But logically, if maybe some assignment comes, basic some simple questions are asked, means also you should be able to answer. Okay, because there, even here before, some simple thing is there in heterotrophic mode of nutrition, some term called enzymes, biocatalyst. Breakdown, we much discussed about that. Breakdown done by enzymes, biocatalyst. With only enzymes only the breakdown process, glucose broken down by enzymes. Okay, and where the enzymes are there? Saliva, we have salivary enzyme. Out, like in the first class we saw HCl is secreted, provides acidity. So think of those things. The HCl converts pepsin to Means pepsinogen is the precursor of the enzyme pepsin. Okay, pepsinogen is the precursor of the enzyme pepsin. So, if HCl is secreted, pepsinogen is converted into pepsin. Pepsin digests proteins. Amylase digests carbohydrates. Can you understand? So, role of enzymes in digestion. Actually, this we will be connecting in the next chapter also. But if assignments, I have submitted the assignment, maybe in weekend you will be writing, just logically think and answer. Okay, just go through the text thoroughly. Fine. Anyway, so if you have any doubt, please note it down. Anything now? No. So if you have anything, note it down. We will discuss in the next class next week. All the best for your assignment. Thanks for your patience and cooperation. See you all. Thank you. Relax.